So the question is, what does it cost to build a freaking machine from the future? I don't know why I said freaking. It just came out. Um, the answer is everything. Everything and more. Everything that somebody has inside them and more. As in, more than the one person has. More. I can only express and explain the path that I've been on and how much it's cost. And what that even means. I'm trying to do something which I don't think anyone else is trying to do. Uh, but seriously, absolutely seriously, not exaggerated one little bit, not make believe, not wishful thinking, not anything like that. Hardcore work with a hardcore vision, like a laser beam. My mind works like a laser. Whatever it's focused on is like blasted into existence to the best of my ability. Like I will conjure up an idea and I will do it. It will be done to the very best. Like tunnel vision, I will think of everything to make it as best as I possibly can. I've been successful doing that my whole life, but not with this. I've been trying to do this for 17 years, I think, 16 or 17 years. I've done the same process, but I've not made it. I've not been able to pull that one off. Uh, I'm not sure why that is. I've been on a rat wheel for many years, and it's the cost is astronomical. The cost on the mind, the cost on the body, the cost financially, the cost to offset your social life. It's energy. It's an energy guzzler. It sucks the energy like driving, like trying to drive a car around on a 12-volt battery. The battery has to keep that car moving, but not for long because it's going to wear out. But it's like that. I am the 12-volt battery and I'm expected to move a car around. I don't like complaining. I don't like being ungrateful. But I sometimes wonder what if I'm on the right track. You see, this machine that I'm trying to build is from the future, and it's such a murky, strange situation that I'm in because there's like the spiritualists on one hand, the New Age movement, which there's problems with that and the way that I see that and what that's how that's affected what I'm trying to do. On the other hand, there's like the people that make this world go round. There's like the engineers, the physicists, the factories, all the technology left over from the start of time and post World War II, etc., etc. I'm somewhere stuck in the middle with an idea, which I can't prove, but I believe it so much I can't walk away from it, so to speak. And it's like something's just pushing me to do it, always has. But there's this massive resistance, this wall, which one little creature like me can't get over. It's almost a phenomena which I feel guilty because I wonder why I haven't been able to pull this off yet. If I look at the actual what's expected, it's really, really hard for one person coming from a creative background to do. I've spent so much money on parts and failed parts and companies to try and put it together. To no avail. There's been many rejected parts from companies that have messed them up. I have sacrificed so much social life experiences, life events to try and do it, and that's come at such a detrimental cost. The cost's so high, I question whether or not it's responsible for such a difficult to cope with existence. As in, I'm wearing the scars as time passes by, and they're catching up with me, if that makes sense. They're catching up because the time I could have been building a life has been used on this. I never thought about it like that up until the side effects really started to kick in. Everything about my life, where I live, what I do for work when I can work, it's all for this, it's all for the machine, it's all for the dream, it's for the truest thing I ever discovered in this universe. And the pain is this: when I see a factory in operation, or somebody that has a lot of money, that has these beautiful machines, beautiful factories, all these, it's really something inside my spirit falls out onto the floor. There's a feeling, a dread comes over me that's like I'm in the wrong dimension, because that's what I need. I need so badly materials and expertise to pull this up. I was never meant to build the wheel from scratch. I was never meant to do everything from the beginning. I was meant to do what no one else could. And that's the design. That is like the meat and the bones. To pull something to help the human race from the future is what I'm not claiming, but what I'm trying to do. I might have done it, you know. I might have something legitimate. I've contacted about 1,800 people to try and convince one of this that is able to help. To build the machine, it needs to be atom for atom, needs to be in the correct position. It's beyond me. I've invested in CNC routers, laser cutters. I've figured out how to do a lot of things, but it's not enough. It's not enough. I'm now coming to understand that as good as achievements as I've made, and as good as the abilities that I have to engineer stuff self-taught, it's still not enough. And it's shocking to me. It's horrifying, because it's like my inspiration and drive was so strong. I couldn't see that I didn't realize how hard it would be to do some things, and it's so hard that I have to admit that I can't. The price of that is too high, to the point in which I won't walk away without being... It threatens my well-being, and I've gone past the line more than once and had to lick my wounds and come back to reality, and it has cost. Yes, I've often felt guilty that I have not given 100%, but I've probably given 200%, and assume that because I haven't been successful, that I did something wrong. Though maybe all this is just so configured that it will never be finished until others are willing to can see it, in order to help make it come into existence. Because, as I said, I can't make what's expected for it. It is too much. The cost is too high, is too dangerous. There's one part in particular which kills it every time. And I've thought about it so many times. I've tried to do tests. It's just, it is going to kill me, because everything that yeah, it's like the price of doing it for so long is catching up. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just one. If I have one wish in this reality, it's to finish this thing, and I have to do it. And it's kind of therapy to make these films. But I've wondered, you know, am I like responsible? Am I not manifesting the right reality? Is negativity coming into it? Is there like something out there that is making it harder than it is. The playing field slightly unlevel? I've asked all these questions and more. I've thought about everything, the future, the present, the past. It's the most frustrating thing when you like an artist or trying to create something and you can't find the damn crayon to paint the picture. It's like you've got the canvas and you're just like, well, why can't I get the crayon? Like how do I have to make a crayon and go and it's like trying to figure out how to make the crayon. I'm just like, I just want to paint the damn picture. If it works, you'll understand why. Everyone will understand why. I've been roasted alive by physicists. I've been confused by New Age people. It's like I'm none of them. I don't know what I am. I don't know how I came to be, but I'm somewhere in between. Yeah, the isolation is a killer. It kills the mind. It kills the drive. It's like you try and push past it, but you know the mind will fold after a certain. It will break. Everyone has a breaking point, and as I said, I've crossed that line more than once, and that's why I get frustrated because I pick myself up, then I try and do it again, and it's just like something has to change. I may not be able to prove that the theory exists, but I can prove one thing beyond question to anybody. And that is how much effort I have put in. I can prove that, and I wish to God that was enough, but unfortunately it's not. I can prove it on every level. I can prove it by the hundreds of kilograms of paperwork I've produced, but by designing it. All of the machines I've invested in, my knowledge on how to engineer, which I've had to taught, and the fact that I can produce highly precise parts. My philosophy on this thing, every dimension that I've thought about, every angle in regards to how this thing works, I can prove that. And it is absolutely no exaggeration. Nothing I say is, and I'm hiding this stuff, which is really interesting because it starts getting strange. Something needs to change, and if it doesn't, I am going to be grinding away in slow motion for years because I've kind of, that's the best I can do at the moment. My resilience is shot to pieces. Because the point of life isn't for me to get this thing working when I'm nearly dead. Because that's kind of not why we're meant to be here. But sometimes that's what it feels like. I don't want to go down a negative spiral, and I'm always aware of my thoughts. But it's more just like putting a video out there to see what people think. By looking at other videos, perhaps to understand what I've been trying to create, the most fantastical thing conjured up by the deep mind. The holy grail of technologies, I guess, and oh yeah, what that would mean, I need just a few pennies to make this happen. There's no question about the design. I'm not confused about that at all. It's clear as a crystal. I've had many years to perfect it. You know, and I don't want people sending me money and all that stuff because that's like kind of suspicious. This, like, the world is really wrong. My dream is to try and find somebody willing to give it a shot where I can work in a team and pull it off. Just like execute all the parts, stick the damn thing together, and that's it's actually that simple because I've done it all in my head. I have refined it. It's not a hit and miss. It's not Russian roulette. It's absolute vector to the infinite decimal place based on the spectral line of a gas. It's crystal clear. It just needs to be done. Yeah, my dream is to have like a team where I can just be the parts can be made properly, not compromised, as I've been making them compromised because I can't do the damn things properly out of the even the correct elements because I just can't. I'm not that rich. I don't have all that infrastructure. Um, I don't have millions of dollars. To invest in machines which people already know how to use and already exists. It's madness. So that is my dream, and I hope one day it happens because sometimes I think time's running out, and it should have happened already. And what else is one to do? I can't very well give myself amnesia and walk away from the project because that's impossible. But I also can't keep pushing myself so hard and feeling guilty because that's not gonna work either. Some miracle needs to happen. That's what I believe. And it must. I've decided it has to happen. I have to think it into existence and work for it physically. I don't believe in just thinking stuff up. I think you have to work for it. But something has to happen. I'm either projecting the wrong reality and it's coming true. I've thought about everything, but I'm just not sure why I still can't get it cracking. But yeah, if it works, my gosh. Jeez. Who's left? Jeez Louise, like, yeah, this thing. It's no small deal. It's no small deal, and yeah. Telepathy, analog telepathy, proven for once and for all. The spirit world proven for once and for all. Clean energy, solid state technology, all these promises. And something to distract the entire human race away from the nonsense of what the smart men have provided for us. Almost like a wake-up call. Silence the ego. Maybe this film will be valid 100 years from now, who knows. But I plan to be successful in this lifetime. I will make it my duty. Just pray that it happens, because maybe your prayers are what I need. I don't know. It has to happen though. Because above all, I wasn't put on this earth to waste away and do monotony. That ain't what this brain was meant for. That's not what I've created it into. That's not what I've worked for. I wasn't put here to fill space. I was put here to do a thing. And I believe this is the closest to that thing. And so it must be done. Tell me what you think. And if you've got any ideas, I'd very much like to hear them. Thank you. Adieu. Good night. Good evening. And until next time.